belly fat issue. Whether somebody is thin or fat, most of the people are struggling with a stubborn belly fat. How to reduce it? There are ample number of videos available on YouTube. There are a lot of nuskas that helps you to lose belly fat, but is that really going to help you? Let's find out today. Hi, my name is Shikha. I'm a functional medicine nutritionist, and today in this video I'm going to give you the deep insights about why do you have the belly fat issues and what exactly is it related to. Is it hormonal imbalance? Is it insulin resistance? What exactly is the problem that is happening inside that is leading to stubborn belly fat issues? So if you are a woman who is struggling with all sort of metabolic issues and don't know what is the answer to it, then you can join my free women's wellness community. It's a Telegram group where so many women come together, and I do a lot of free webinars for them. I give a lot of resources, lot of other things that will help you to improve your metabolism, your metabolic issues, and also your overall well-being and mindset. You can find the link in the description and be a part of this community. First and foremost, I want to tell all of you guys that belly fat does not reduce with only doing crunches or having green tea in the morning or apple cider vinegar, etc., etc. It's a much deeper subject which we are going to look into today. There are 4 types of belly fat that we are going to talk about today, and out of which the first one is sagging belly fat. If you have a sagging belly, that means it's hanging a lot below, and if you also see along with that your limbs, that means your hands and legs, are very much thinner, and you feel that the accumulation is more towards the belly and it is in the sagging form, then this can significantly show that there is a possibility of adrenal fatigue. Now, adrenal fatigue simply means that your cortisol, that means the stress hormone, can be very high, and this leads to a lot of accumulation around your belly to save you from any kind of danger. It's like a defense mechanism. So belly fat is going to be much more in that area, and because the body is using more of proteins as a defense mechanism, you will have thinner limbs, that means thinner hands and legs in such a case. And such patients will also have issues like insulin resistance very commonly, or diabetes or pre-diabetes, whatever. If a patient is actually doing a lot of exercise to try to lose their belly fat, or if they are doing a very crash diet, or they are doing intermittent fasting, these are very chronic situations to be handled by the body. So in such a case, the patient will not see very positive results. Instead, they will see that the stubborn weight is actually increasing even more. Their belly fat will not actually reduce in such a case. So first and foremost, you must check your cortisol levels. Get yourself tested for cortisol through urine or through saliva in the morning and in the evening at least. Ideally, you should check it at least 5 times in a day and consecutive days to understand the pattern of the cortisol. But some of these tests are not available in India, but yes, it is available in outside of the country. So you can definitely look into that kind of a test. Or else you can simply do a urine test or a salivary test for morning and the evening to understand your cortisol levels. Or else you can also get yourself tested for your fasting insulin levels to understand if you really have insulin resistance. So how do you work on the sagging belly fat? Number one thing is to work on your cortisol levels. So cortisol is a stress hormone, like I said. So you have to work on the stress management techniques. Now the best way to do that is to set a fixed routine for your own self, because then body starts feeling that you are absolutely safe, because it can predict what is going to come next, right? So sleep on time, wake up on time, eat on time, do not skip your meals, do not give very harsh things to your body, which is sudden big change for your own self. Maybe doing a very hardcore exercise or doing extensive diets. All these things are not going to work for you. Set simple things, but keep it monotonous and easy to follow so that your body starts feeling safer. Try and keep your mornings really active and evenings much less active, because the cortisol is supposed to be dipping by the evening time. So if it remains elevated, it can actually affect your sleep also. So in such a case, you are supposed to not do exercise, especially in the evening time. Maybe you can do it in the morning time before 2 o'clock. That works beautifully for such patients. Now, how do you actually curate a healthy morning routine for yourself? I have made a video for that, so you can look into that link and the link in the description. So that will be very helpful for you to create something for your cortisol management. I also said that cortisol can lead to insulin resistance, so please make sure that you have enough of proteins, healthy fats and fiber coming in your diet, and try and have low glycemic index foods to be able to manage your blood glucose levels effectively. Next type of belly that is seen is thyroid belly fat. Now the person with the thyroid type of belly will see that their belly is like a burger shape and their fat is distributed properly, evenly, in most of the cases evenly all over the body, and they might also see that they have heavier arms. In some of the cases it might not be there, but in most of the cases arms will also be heavier. Now such patients will come up with issues like thyroid, if not immediately, maybe in the future, is what I have seen even personally in my one-on-one consultations. But in general, some of the patients do not have thyroid as such, but they can have subclinical hypothyroidism which remains undiagnosed in a lot of patients' cases. This is one topic that I have covered in the weight loss issues. You can go and watch that video. It is very helpful, that why are you not losing weight. So in that I have spoken about how the subclinical thyroid can be diagnosed properly with a blood work to identify if you're actually having slow thyroid, or maybe you can manifest thyroid in the upcoming years for you. Now one simple thing that you can verify to understand your belly fat is by understanding your thyroid profile. Just get yourself tested for a TSH, free T3, free T4. Also do your antibody tests like TPO and ATG, because this actually helps you to understand if your antibodies are high or if you have a threshold to get Hashimoto thyroiditis in future. Now how to work on the thyroid belly fat? It's very simple. You have to support your thyroid. It's very important to have important ingredients like selenium, zinc, L-tyrosine, enough of proteins, having iodine in your diet. All these things in general is going to help you to support your thyroid. If you do not give these ingredients, your thyroid will not function properly and eventually you will not see any kind of improvements. You also have to work on your liver health and your gut health, because these are the two places where the thyroid gets activated. So if you do not have a good liver function, if you have fatty liver, if you have constipation issues, if you have bloating, gas, acidity, the mineral absorption will also not happen. The estrogen dominance can happen, which can further slow down your thyroid issues. So please look into these deeper levels also. But first and foremost is to work on your vitamins and minerals and macronutrients to support your thyroid, to be able to see a lot of difference in your belly fat. Next type of belly is ovary belly type. Now in such a case, patient might have bigger hips and thighs than the overall body. So the person will have smaller upper frame and bigger hips and thighs. So fat accumulation is more towards hips and thighs and the lower belly fat. Then this is clearly an indication of estrogen dominance. Now estrogen dominance is what? Where your estrogen is so high in comparison to your progesterone. That's what is estrogen dominance. Now in such a case, a patient can also have other symptoms like heavy periods, or maybe PCOS, or maybe they can also have issues like breast tenderness or bloating or migraine, such kind of issues, especially as a PMS symptom, like before getting the periods. You can look out and verify your symptoms by getting yourself tested for your FSH, LH, progesterone, estrogen on specific days. You can speak with your doctor when to test these. So ideally you are supposed to check FSH and estradiol on the 5th day of your period and LH and progesterone on the 21st day, but it depends on the period cycle. So you can speak with your doctor and verify these things for your own self for estrogen dominance. Now there can be a lot of patients who can have estrogen dominance and eventually can have hypothyroid issues, because one of the primary symptoms of hypothyroid is also estrogen dominance. So what happens is their body shape actually starts changing eventually. So they can have a mixed body type also. So it's not necessary that one has to have the same type of body fat, but they can actually change their body type based on the hormonal change in their profile also. Now, if you have estrogen dominance issue, number one priority should be that you should not be constipated at all, because estrogen gets eliminated out through stools. So if you're going to be constipated, estrogen dominance will increase even more because it flushes back into the blood. Second thing, you have to work on detoxification of your liver, because that's where the estrogen metabolism happens. So you must look for foods like cruciferous vegetables, have more of greens, have more of flaxseed, because it can change the pathway to a good estrogen. And when you have good amount of essential fiber in your diet, which is soluble and insoluble mix, that's going to improve your constipation, which will help you to release the excess of estrogen. Now the last type of belly is liver belly fat. Now, this is actually a pot belly, which is commonly seen in men. It is also commonly known as beer belly, but not necessarily somebody who has beer has to have this pot belly. Even people who do not have alcohol can have this kind of a pot belly fat, which is commonly seen in today's time because of high carbohydrate intake. Now, as the name suggests, when you have pot belly, it indicates that there is a possibility of having liver problem. That means it can be fatty liver, it can be alcoholic, it can be non-alcoholic, and this can lead to a lot of water accumulation also, which is also known as ascites. And this can actually lead to a lot of fluid retention in the belly, which is very difficult to actually reduce if somebody is not taking care of their diet and putting a lot of pressure on the liver constantly to function more. And when this happens, obviously the belly fat does not reduce easily. Now, such patients can be at a very high risk of getting diabetes or heart disease in the future. So it is critical for such patients to improve their liver health to be able to reduce the risk in the future for them. In my recommendation, such a patient should not have a very high fat, a very high protein diet and a very high carb diet. Now, in such a case, you have to give rest and recovery to the liver as much as you can, because liver is a place which metabolizes all of these things. So if you put too much pressure of too much of proteins and too much of fats and too much of carbs to process, it will not improve the condition in any case. So such a patient should have a diet which is low on glycemic index, more on fiber, have very moderate protein, do not have a very high protein diet, try and have a low fat diet, or maybe have easy digestible fat. Something like an MCT oil works beautifully for such patients because it's easiest to digest and it doesn't need a very hard processing in the body. So look for something which is easy to digest also and does not put too much pressure on the liver properly. Now, one can also be a mixed type of belly, somebody who has bigger hips and thighs and also have more fat in the belly. That is definitely possible. Somebody can have a protruding pot belly, but maybe they feel that their hips and thighs are also bigger. That is also possible. So what you can do is get yourself tested for whatever parameters that I actually mentioned in the video. Get yourself tested and start working on those parameters to see effective results. Now, based on all your results, you will obviously follow whatever protocols that I have given you. You can combine them and start following that. So does that mean you're not supposed to work out? No, it's not like that. You have to work out. You have to make it a point that you do a balance of weight training, a balance of cardio, a balance of stretchings. All three of them will give you fitness, but do not overdo or underdo anything or just completely rely on one thing. Look out for what you exactly need to do for your belly fat to actually reduce and function accordingly, and trust me, everything will sort out very well for you. So understand the root cause of your belly fat, work on your hormone profiles and get fantastic results to improve your belly fat. So please write it to me in the comments if you have any questions and queries regarding belly fat issues or any other health issues, because I would love to hear from you and make more such content regarding health and wellness to help you guys find your solution for your health. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, because I'm going to make many more such content around it. And please make sure that you also like and share it with anybody who you know is struggling with the belly fat issues. With this, I take a leave and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.